Hey guys, this is Tim Powell from the Minerals and Royalties Authority. I recently sat down with Josh Adler, founder and CEO of SourcEnergy. Here are a few short clips from our conversation so you can hear some of the things that Josh had to say.
One of the other things we started to notice that's interesting from the standpoint of predicting cash flows is that the size of well pads, the acres of area, actually correlates about 80% to the future number of wells that get drilled on the pad when we're looking at a back study of this. And so they build the pad to a size that is going to accommodate their intended well spacing. So what we did, and this has led to a lot of granted patents, is we started putting together different kinds of data to understand where the frac crews were. Hey, we can spot the frac ponds. We know there has to be a frac pond before you can frac, so that's another factor. We know there has to be a well pad. So now we're tracking where the well pads are. And by putting these things together, we could kind of know, okay, which pads are ready for a frac. Then we used a different kind of satellite imagery, not the optical, called synthetic aperture radar, which cuts through clouds and bounces off of metal. And so by following all these well pads, along with knowing where the frac pond is and knowing where the permits are active and where the ducks are and where the rigs have been, we're then able to make a very strong inference that that is a frac crew on that well pad. And then we took it a level up, which is we brought anonymous cell phone tracking data. Now you can see, well, where did they come from and where did they go to? And so we're able to use that along with all these maps we built of where all of the equipment yards are, right? Where all the Halliburton yards, where are all the Liberty yards, where are all the, you name it. So by mapping thousands of these parking lots, basically, and knowing who owns or operates that parking lot, when we see a bunch of them repeatedly go back to a particular yard and say, okay, well, we know that that's a Halliburton equipment yard. Okay, that's a Halliburton pressure pumping crew. And so you can know what really are the number of wells that are about to get drilled here because of the pads, which of these wells are going to get fracked soon because we can see that they're prepared to frack because the frack ponds have been filled up. And then we can know which wells have actually been fracked and are ready to produce or about to produce, even though that's not going to get reported to any regulatory authority or the mineral owner for 6 months or a year or more.
If you enjoyed some of Josh's comments, then I encourage you to tune into the full episode on the Minerals and Royalties podcast. Thanks, and see you next time.